UBC. It's a long way from UBC to here on a wet day like this. Marcy Flamand is right there. Thank you, Marcy. It's nice to see you again. Carolyn Sinclair. There, was it? Yes, hi, Carolyn. Sergeant Tim Houchin, NASCARs. Down there we are, thank you. And Street to Peak, down there. Very good. It's how nice to see you all. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Marcy. And Brooks to do. Great performance and nice audience engagement. I'm honored once again to be back to take part in this year's Ministry of Justice, Community Safety and Crime Prevention Awards. And with thanks, I will thank my team too, Jamie and Taryn and Patty, our new head of Community Safety and Crime Prevention in government. So thank you very much to you for all the hard work that you've done. To engage with people around British Columbia in putting these awards together and bringing people in and making all of this happen. We are indeed on the traditional territory of the Coast Salish peoples, and we honor that. I thank the BC Crime Prevention Association for bringing us together for this important event. And every year it is such an inspiration to see so many individuals committed to public safety. Community groups, volunteers, RCMP, police, ministry staff, and of course, our nominees. Under the leadership of our Premier, Premier Christy Clark, our government has put a premium on public safety. This means supporting local crime prevention initiatives, going after the proceeds of crime, advocating for victims, and working together to keep our communities safe. We are succeeding in driving down crime, but there is more that can and must be done together. This week, our government has proclaimed Crime Prevention Week in British Columbia, and today's celebration caps it off. It provides an important opportunity to recognize the everyday crime fighters and community leaders making British Columbia a better place, and that is all of you. To all the nominees and those in attendance, thank you for your work and dedication in this regard. We're about to meet 5 local heroes who work tirelessly with government, law enforcement, and community groups to combat crime. But first, I have an announcement, and this relates to civil forfeiture. There are many people and organizations in this room who have received funding from government civil forfeiture grant program. This is funding that we take from people looking to benefit from crime. In other words, the proceeds of unlawful activity or an instrument of unlawful activity. So proceeds of drug crime, for example, or it could be sometimes it's a vehicle that has been used in drug crime. And other examples, that money can be seized. There's an application to a court, and in the appropriate circumstances, it goes into the civil forfeiture program, and then it goes back out again in grants to communities. We put it into community organizations that are working to prevent crime, and that's you. We target it at keeping young people out of gangs, and at ways to better protect vulnerable women from violence. So far, we have delivered $22 million back to you, our crime fighters. And today, I'm pleased to announce that we will be accepting applications for another round of grant funding beginning Monday, November the 9th. This year's funding streams will continue our commitment to a violence-free BC, to anti-gang initiatives, and to youth crime prevention, to training and equipment for police to fight crime, and for restorative justice. Applications will be open until December 17th, 2015, and I assume all of you are listening to think about how your organization will fit into one of those categories. I can hear you already drafting that grant application in your head. Right, make yourself some notes because they are reviewed, of course, by the team. The applications are open until December 17th, 2015, and I encourage all of you to take this opportunity to apply and to pass it on to your organizations and the organizations that you know of that are doing good work in your communities who could benefit from the support. I know that you know what kind of difference this support makes. So that's why I want to take a moment to acknowledge some of our other crime fighters who've joined us today. We have representatives and participants from the Street to Peak project that received funding from the Civil Forfeiture Program. This is an amazing initiative where students travel to Tanzania to climb Africa's highest peak, Mount Kilimanjaro. And in fact, last year, while climbing the peak, they received the very phone call that informed them of their successful grant application. What an accomplishment and moment that must have been. Street to peak. Inspiring video it is, and the speaker, I think it's you that I have heard. Can you tell us your name at the end? Okay,
Jessie Costucci. Jessie Costucci.
Jessie, and I've heard you speak on the program before, and really it's so inspirational. So thank you. How many kids did you take up the top of the mountain?
15.
15. Brilliant. Well done. Fantastic. And so thank you so much for that, and for the people around you who helped, and all of you who put that program together. Just remarkable, and what a great story. Our civil forfeiture program is a driving force on the path to creating a safer province for everyone. Another example of that work in action is NASCARs over here. And NASCARs, I know, has been working for years. In fact, I remember coming down to see your team when I was on City Council. And so NASCARs, you all know what that stands for, right? Never again steal cars. And you were restoring a 1935 Vancouver police car. And is it driving now?
No, we have one more year to actually get it on the road and get it in paint.
One more year. Good. There's a lot of people in this room who would like a ride when that time comes.
It'll happen.
These are brilliant programs. These young people are developing practical skills and a sense of accomplishment that will help them navigate a positive path away from the lure of crime. I just want to tell you a statistic. The government got a little bit of grumbling on Vancouver Island because we closed the youth detention center on Vancouver Island. Well, you know why we closed it? Not enough customers. And isn't that a good news story? The number of youth in custody in British Columbia over the past number of months, on average, is 64. And that is a remarkable number, and it's a credit to programs like NASCARs, like Mount Kilimanjaro, keeping youth, especially youth at risk, in important and interesting things that give youth the opportunity to see something different than a life of crime, something more interesting, something inspirational. And that's what you do. And that, I know because I've tested this. Just test it on your friends. Go ask them, how many youth do you think are in custody in British Columbia right now? People will guess remarkably higher numbers than that. So it is a testament to all the people who are working with youth and all the people who are helping vulnerable kids around British Columbia that our numbers are so low. And I will speak for government and for all of us. I think appreciative to all of you who work so hard on that. And it is fantastic to see those who are benefiting from our civil forfeiture program. So we are going to acknowledge some award winners in a moment. So for all of the winners, and for those of you in attendance today from all around British Columbia, thank you for having the courage to stand up to crime. I know that there are people here who put in massive amounts of hours volunteering in your communities, years and years of volunteering and helping out, keeping our roads safe and keeping our communities safe. You show exemplary leadership in community safety and crime prevention. You make British Columbia a better and safer place for all of us. On behalf of our government and on behalf of your neighbors, I give you well-deserved and heartfelt thanks.
Thank you, Minister Anton. Great. Now I'd like to call up our honor guards, please, to the stage. to make me stand up a little bit taller, I think. Wonderful. This year's Community Safety and Crime Prevention Award recipients were selected by members of the Provincial Safe Communities Working Group, which includes BC Crime Prevention Association, Block Watch Society of BC, British Columbia Crime Stoppers, Children of the Street Society, RCMP Division, Public Safety Canada, Ministry of Justice. And we would like to thank these groups for participating in this year's selection process. Award recipients were selected for their exemplary leadership, commitment, perseverance, innovation, and contribution to crime prevention and community safety in British Columbia. And now, for this year's recipients, we will begin with the Award of Distinction. This premier award honors the extraordinary lifetime contribution and commitment by a practitioner, volunteer, or group to crime prevention and community safety. The award was established in honor of Anthony J. Holm for his role as a pioneer in crime prevention and community safety in British Columbia. This year's recipient of the Award of Distinction is Tim Agg. Tim Agg has dedicated his entire working career to enhancing community safety and has worked tirelessly to make positive changes for youth involved in the justice system. He has inspired generations of youth justice workers, contributed heavily to policy development for youth justice issues, and has brokered many partnerships in the youth justice sector. Executive Director of Plea Community Services Society of BC since 1982, Tim has been instrumental in the delivery of programs and services ranging from preventative, such as the Kid Start program, to intensive, including providing specialized residential care to youth and adults with complex needs. Unfortunately, Tim is not able to join us today, but I would like to invite Anne Alexander to the podium to say a few words and to accept the award on behalf of Tim.
Hi, I'm Anne Alexander from Plea Community Services. It is my great pleasure to accept this award today for Tim. I don't want you to feel sorry for him because he's on a great adventure. I think he's on a cruise ship in the South Pacific. For the last almost 35 years, Tim and I have been partners in crime prevention. Tim and I joined up in 1984. And that was a time when youth justice programs were among the many services being moved from government to the nonprofit sector. The truth is, I really had to convince Tim to join us because, and I think he only did, because he didn't really like the job that he had at the time. Tim is personally and professionally an exceptional man, and I'm not the only one that thinks that. He is known to be a fearless and creative community leader. When I found that Tim had been given this award, I asked those who know him well to give me some words to describe him, and this is what they said. These words are from Paul Barnett, who is the president of PARCA, BC's Community Justice Federation. He's the former executive director of the John Howard Society of North Island. Through Tim's leadership, Plea Community Services Society has developed and delivered the most effective and innovative community-based youth justice services in Canada. Professor Andy Bilson, professor of social work, University of Central Lancashire in England, has said, "In my opinion, the work undertaken by Plea under Tim's leadership is world-leading and provides a model of best practice in youth justice rarely equaled in the international arena." Gordon Hogue, MLA for Surrey White Rock. Tim has consistently shown a penchant for innovative, progressive, and creative responses to crime prevention, community safety, and victims of violence. Our communities and our province have benefited greatly from his expertise and his perseverance. Of course, I also asked him what he would like to add and say if he were here, and he asked me to say this on his behalf. It is an honor to receive this award. I thank those responsible for my nomination and selection. Plea believes that strong relationships lie at the heart of effective There's 3 core models: volunteer mentors, one-to-one workers, and family caregivers. These are foundational to every program that we deliver. We blend justice and social service traditions to ensure that our work respects rights